Kia ora everyone. This is just a quick video to go through some important aspects of your Excel exercise 2, which is the assessment that you would have been doing in class today, but you'll be doing this week in your own time. So the assessment is on descriptive statistics and table formatting. So descriptive statistics we went through quite in depth in class, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm sure you guys will be able to figure out how to generate your averages, standard deviations, standard error and confidence intervals in Excel. The instructions go through quite clearly how you do that part of the assessment in Excel. The thing we haven't talked about in class yet is table formatting, and the reason this is important, you might wonder why in a stats course we're being so finicky about your formatting of tables. Well, the reason is in science, if you want to publish your work and you want to submit it to a journal, each journal will have very specific formatting guidelines that you have to follow, and if you haven't followed these to the T, the journal will just look at the work and, well, they won't even read it, they won't even look at it properly, they'll just reject. So it's really important to be able to follow formatting guidelines. And from your perspective, for your assessments, for your reports, if you are able to follow correct scientific formatting, it just gives your work that look of professionalism that will help bring your mark up. So, correct table formatting, the first thing, and all this is, there are instructions in the assessment instructions, but I just wanted to go through it verbally as well. So every table must have a caption, and for tables the caption always goes at the top of the table. So when you start having figures, captions for figures go at the bottom, captions for tables go at the top. So if this was, you have 4 tables that you need to submit for your assessment, so let's just say your caption should say which table it is, so table 1, and then have a very descriptive caption. So a lot of people try to make their captions too general. They might just say descriptive statistics, and that is true, that's what's in the table, but if you have 4 tables in your assessment and they're all descriptive statistics, you can't call them all the same thing. So it might be descriptive statistics for mussel shells generated by the analysis tool pack, for example. So, descriptive statistics for mussel shell. Oh, and actually it would be mussel shell length or mussel shell width. You can't just say for mussel shells, because you have to say what the descriptive statistics are describing. So for mussel shell width. For example. Okay, once you've got your caption in there, the next important formatting aspect is in tables, in scientific tables, you don't have vertical lines. And you might see when we informally do tables on the board in class or in PowerPoint presentations, sometimes the tables will have vertical lines like that just to help you see the different columns. But correct scientific formatting has no vertical lines, only horizontal lines. And typically there's one horizontal line at the top of the table, one horizontal line at the bottom of the table, and then often one other line that goes under the column titles. So our column titles for this example could just be, you might just have descriptive statistics. So if you were looking, and if you had multiple columns as well, so let's have, hold on, descriptive, I'll just write stats because I'm going to run out of room, but you would write statistics, and you might have low tide and high tide. So the other important thing is if you've got your list of things that are in the table here, which could be average, standard deviation, I won't write it out in full just to save time, standard error, etc., etc. If you were working those things out for multiple multiple parameters, like length at low tide, length at high tide, you would just write that once. So what a common mistake lots of people make is they write average, standard deviation, standard error, and then they write the numbers, and then they write average, standard deviation, standard error, and they write the numbers again. You should only have those titles in one column at the front of the table. Then you've got your numbers here. Now when you produce these numbers in Excel, they will have many, many decimal places. It's important that you format your numbers, and the assessment asks, to 2 decimal places. So if you don't know how to do that in Excel, Google it. Google is going to be your friend this week because you're not going to have me there in class to ask all these questions to. But if you just Google, how do I format numbers to 2 decimal places in Excel, there'll be plenty of information on the internet that will talk you through that. So use Google. If you get really stuck, you've also got your learning facilitator that you can email. And if you're really, really stuck, you can email me, but I really don't want 100 emails asking how to do formatting things, okay? Because you can find that information yourself. So I'm just going to make up numbers here, but let's say it's 10.31, 5.22, 6.94. So the other thing you will notice, when you format these numbers in Excel for your tables, they need to be right aligned. So what that means, I'm just going to draw a line here. Obviously you don't actually have this on your table, but if you had a line against the right hand side of the column, the numbers are aligned against that line. They're not aligned against the left hand side, they're right aligned. And the reason for that is it helps you see that your decimal places are that your decimal places should all be lined up. And if you have your numbers to the wrong number of decimal places, like if you have 10.452 and 10.1 and 10.22, your decimal places won't line up, and it's much harder to read those numbers. But if you have all your decimal places lined up, it's very easy to tell a number that's 100 from a number that's 10 or a number that's 1. You can look at that at a glance and see that number is 10 times the size of that one, and that number is 10 times the size of the previous one. So I hope that kind of gives you the reasoning why you're right aligning, but the key point here is that the numbers in your table must be right aligned. And then consistent number of decimal places, which I've mentioned already, and the assessment asks for 2 decimal places, but in other assessments it might be more applicable to do things to 1 decimal place or to 3 decimal places, but as long as you're consistent in your table. It looks really bad if you have a table that has numbers and some of them are no decimal places and some of them are 5 decimal places. It looks really, really bad. Okay, so I think those are the main points there. There are some examples in your Excel exercise instructions of well-formatted tables. Some examples here at the end of the instructions, so have a look at them. Make sure you're following the guidelines. And yeah, good luck with your assessment. Good luck with being in lockdown. I hope everyone's all right. Stay safe. Stay hygienic, keep washing your hands. Don't sneeze on people. Well, actually you won't be seeing people, so. Yes, good luck. Bye.